Shri Guru Shri Prabhupada Rajras Sasikamcha Narayanam Tam Papannam Shri Guru Charanam Vande Naman Prishthaya Guru Vipalu Bhaktivedanta Pamurti Narayanam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Bhava Shri Sari Gaura Purinda Jai Rup Sanatana Pradhanat Shri Jiva Pava Vilasvadana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, I offer my Ashtanga Dharma pranams in the lotus feet for spiritual masters. Jai Shri Om Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayana Swami Maharaj Shri Gurudev Nikhara Shri Nitya Shri Bhakti Swami Shri Gurudev Grantha Rupanandaya Guruvarga all Vaishnava Vaishnavas present, Vaishnavas and especially Jai Shri Om Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayana Swami Maharaj most auspicious day of Bhakti we are observing today. So there's a nice book called Bhakti Siddhanta many years before, Acharya Prabhu had given me this book when I first joined the temple. So it has many nice profiles of all, so many disciples of Prabhupada, his well-wishers, very nice descriptions. Like I was just reading, Prabhupada, he had one Siksha disciple called Swarna Dasi. So Swarna Dasi, she was a disciple of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. But then anyhow, after Bhaktivedanta Thakur left this world, she stayed under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada Sasi Thakur in Yoga. She accepted Prabhupada as a Siksha Guru, this Swarna Dasi. So then, although she was so old, more than 70 years old, still Prabhupada, he gave her one small service. He said, you see this donation box inside the Yoga temple? You just guard this donation box. Don't do anything else. So this lady, this old lady, disciple of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, she'll be sitting the whole day guarding the donation box. And then, as she started growing older, she started losing her eyesight. Means she started going blind. But still she continued performing her bhajan and attending arati and performing parikrama of the temple. And when she took parikrama of the temple, because she couldn't see, because she was almost blind, she tied a knot in her sari. Every time she did one parikrama, she tied one knot in her sari. And one more parikrama, one more knot in her sari. So in this way she would do parikrama. And then when she became completely blind, and when she did not even walk, what would she do? During kirtan, she would play the gong. That much. And that was her only seva. In this way she was always listening to Harikatha, especially the devotees speaking on Chaitanya Bhagavad in this way. So once one devotee approached Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj and he said, oh Maharaj, please give me your mercy. And Babaji Maharaj, he chastised that person. He said, oh, you go to Mayapur. In Mayapur there's one lady, old lady. In your previous life you committed an offense to her lotus feet, therefore it's suffering. Go beg for forgiveness from her. And immediately that person, he went to her and begged for forgiveness. And so she was also a Siksha disciple of Srila Prabhupada Sasi Thakur. So these are the very nice short biographies of many of Prabhupada's disciples and his associates, his followers and many others. So here in this book also a small biography is given of Srila Sridhar Maharaj here. So there it is said that Srila Bhaktivedanta Sridhar Maharaj, his name before was Ramendra Chandra and he was from a very distinguished Brahmin family. But from his very childhood, he was very attracted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like initially from his biography, we know that he was very much attracted to Sri Ramchandra. No, because Ram is Maryada Purushottam. No, he follows the best etiquette, like no other incarnation of Godhead. And because of following Sadachar, he renounced his own wife. So therefore Sridhar Maharaj was very much attracted to Ram's life. But gradually while associating with devotees, then he started developing an appreciation for Krishna also. Why? Because his father would speak Harikatha sometimes in Katwa and all these different places. So therefore Sridhar Maharaj, he was thinking, oh, now I have a gradual appreciation for Sri Krishna. So then gradually when he started mixing with the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, then his love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to blossom. So then his father was very much disappointed with him. Because his father was thinking, why are you following these Gaudiya Vaishnavas? These Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they don't follow any caste, they're not following any tradition, nothing. They're from a very high caste Brahmin family, and you're not following our family, you're only following these Gaudiya Vaishnavas. You don't follow anything in society. They say everyone is Brahmin. They say that according to us, only those born in Brahmin families, they are Brahmins, but they don't believe in anything. But still, he did not care. He continued following the teachings of Mahaprabhu. So then, he also took part in Gandhi's non-cooperation movement. He was studying law. So he started visiting various sadhus. He wanted to take initiation, but he could not find a Sadguru. So eventually, he got a job in Calcutta, where one day, he saw someone speaking about a month-long festival at the Gaudiya Math there in Calcutta. So he was walking down the road and he saw someone saying that, oh, there's going to be Harikatha being spoken. Harikatha is going to be spoken by one great devotee in Calcutta. You must come. So then he was thinking, is this sadhu a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Then this person said, not just a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's a pure devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So who was he? He was Prabhupada himself. So when Sridhar Maharaj came to the temple, he only found one devotee in the hall, in the temple hall. All the others were outside for Nagar Sankirtan. So then, when Sridhar Maharaj started speaking to this devotee who was sitting inside the temple hall, Sridhar Maharaj was so pleasantly surprised because this devotee who was sitting in the temple hall was quoting so many scriptures. He was speaking so intelligently, so scholarly. Sridhar Maharaj is thinking that, look at this person. He's just living in the city here, not even in the forest. He's living in the middle of the city, among so many materialistic people, but still he's speaking so highly, so scholarly. Who is he? If the disciple is this way, then you can imagine how his guru is. Sridhar Maharaj is thinking. So then, Sridhar Maharaj is thinking that although I am born in a Brahmin family and this person is not even born in a Brahmin family, but still his knowledge is so much greater than mine. He is a true Brahmin. Sridhar Maharaj is thinking within his mind. So when Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur returned with the Sankirtan party, Sridhar Maharaj saw him for the first time. There he saw Prabhupada, he was walking inside the temple and one disciple was carrying his danda. So that time no one had even heard about Tridakti Sannyas. No one had even heard about that in Bengal. Prabhupada was the one who started Tridakti Sannyas. Because Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he desired that Daivi Varnashram Dharma be restarted in India. So therefore this Sannyas Dharma was again started. So Prabhupada, after accepting sannyas, he started giving sannyas to so many others. So when the Sankirtan party was going on, Prabhupada, he came there, accompanied with one disciple who was carrying his danda. So when Prabhupada returned to the Sankirtan party, then Sridhar Maharaj, he saw him. And then he saw how renounced Prabhupada was. Prabhupada was completely self-sufficient, he noticed. He saw how Prabhupada was like completely nishkinchan, akenchan. His only possession was Krishna prema, nothing else. So then he had his first darshan of Srila Prabhupada. So then he regularly began to attend the programs in the Gaudiya Math. Regularly. All his relatives were like trying to dissuade him so much. His relatives were saying, don't go there to the Gaudiya Math. Don't go there, you're going to lose your caste. They were telling him, but he said, no, I must go. And he kept listening to Harikatha there. So one particular brahmachari who was speaking there, his name was Pranavananda Brahmachari. So who was he? He was Sri Bhakti Puri Maharaj. So Sridhar Maharaj was especially attracted by his Harikatha. Sridhar Maharaj has been stated in his biography that Puri Maharaj was the first Gaudiya Vaishnava he ever heard Harikatha being spoken from. So then when he heard Puri Maharaj's Harikatha, he became so much attracted to the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. So then Sridhar Maharaj, once he saw Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he was sitting with a few devotees. And there, they were listening to a scholar speaking on the Upanishads. And then this scholar was speaking on the Upanishads and Prabhupada was also speaking on the Upanishads. So then Sridhar Maharaj was thinking, these topics are so exalted. These Sanskrit granthas, these scriptures, they are meant to be discussed in the forest, not here in the city. But here still I see Prabhupada is discussing all these Upanishads, these Vedas with all these Pandits. In the middle of the city, he was thinking. How is this possible? He was thinking. where such materialistic people live. But still, Sridhar Maharaj is thinking that Saraswati Thakur, he is residing in a floor above Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the deity was beneath and Prabhupada's room was above. So Sridhar Maharaj is thinking, how is this proper? He was thinking. So then, this devotee, he told him, oh, you don't realize, this deity that has manifested has actually manifested from the heart of Srila Prabhupada. So what can you possibly know what relationship Prabhupada has with Mahaprabhu? You're only thinking that the disciple is up and Prabhu is down. But don't think this way. Their relationship is so much intimate, confidential that you can never understand. So then Sridhar Maharaj asked the devotee, is this deity made of earth or wood or what? So the devotee immediately said, Mahaprabhu himself is present here. He's not wooden, he's not made of metal or any other material product. Don't think this way. He's not different from his deity, from his sarup. So then Sridhar Maharaj, when he heard this brahmachari chastise him, then he was thinking, oh, the deity is not different. Then Sridhar Maharaj said, all right. So then this way Sridhar Maharaj was thinking that these brahmacharis are speaking so highly, how must their spiritual master be? How intelligent must their spiritual master be? So then, gradually he started visiting the temple more and more often. So one day, there was one brahmachari called Kirtanananda Brahmachari. So he wants Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj. He said, oh, this person is listening so honestly. He's listening to every word, yet he doesn't say anything. None of us know who he is. Maybe he's spying for the British, they said. Because Sridhar Maharaj, he was a very astute listener. Whenever he would listen to anyone speak Harikatha, he would listen like with complete attention. With unblinking eyes, he'd just be listening to Harikatha. So one of the God brothers, they remarked that when he's listening to Harikatha so sincerely, still he's so new. Despite being so new, he's listening to Harikatha like with so much concentration. So I think something is wrong here. I think he might be a spy for the British government. Then Bhakti Pramod Maharaj, he said, oh, don't think that way. That's only his sincerity. Don't think he's a spy. So then this way, Sridhar Maharaj was so much attracted by the Harikatha of Srila Saraswati Thakur and all his disciples. And whenever they spoke, that whatever Harikatha they spoke was solid, means full of all Shastri quotations, full of all profound realizations, and not just Tattva Siddhanta, but also so much sweetness. So then he thought, there is nothing higher than this Siddhanta that they are speaking. This Tattva Siddhanta that these followers of Srila Saraswati Thakur are speaking is unsurpassed in realization. It's unequal. So therefore now he was thinking, I want to live with them. Sridhar Maharaj is thinking, no, I don't want to live outside. I want to live with them. So then Sridhar Maharaj, after some time what happened? It said his wife passed away. He was previously married. So his wife immediately passed away. So then he thought this is Krishna's desire. His wife also left her body. So then immediately he left everything and then he wanted to join the temple. And then what happened when he joined the temple? What would he do? He would just sit outside Prabhupada's room and just listen. Prabhupada would be inside his room and Sridhar Maharaj would just be sitting outside his room the whole day. Whole day, whole night, just sleeping outside his room and sitting outside his room. And just waiting for Prabhupada to come out and meet Krishna. So then one day, when Sridhar Maharaj is going to Prabhupada's room, one brahmachari stopped him. He said, where are you going? He said, oh, I want to go to Guru Maharaj. I want to hear and associate with him. So then this brahmachari said, oh, you think it's so easy to meet Prabhupada? Stay here, he said. Wait for him. Only when you get permission, then you can enter inside. Otherwise, stay here. Don't cross this place. So when this brahmachari spoke these words to Sridhar Maharaj didn't say anything. He humbly accepted whatever he was saying. And then Sridhar Maharaj thought, when Sukadev Goswami wanted to meet Janak Maharaj, he had to pass through 7 gates. And when he passed through each gate, he had to wait 7 days. No. Janak Maharaj was a great devotee. Although he was a king, a grihastha, still he was a great devotee. And Sukadev Goswami also, as you know, a great devotee. And when he wanted to have the darshan of Janak Maharaj, it was said that Janak Maharaj tested him. And how did he test him? He placed 7 gates in front of him. And he could only cross one gate when he would patiently wait for 7 days. So this way there were 7 gates and 7 days. So after 49 days, he met Janak Maharaj. Not very easily. 49 days, waiting, then he met him. So Sridhar Maharaj also thought, it's not so easy to meet a sadhu. I must patiently wait for his darshan. So he was patiently waiting. So then, Sridhar Maharaj, he kept patiently waiting for Prabhupada. Then one day, Prabhupada, he was on the roof. After having taken prasad in the afternoon, he was on the roof. So Sridhar Maharaj, he approached Prabhupada and he stood in the corner. So Prabhupada, he asked the devotee, who is he? Does he have something to say? So then the devotee asked Sridhar Maharaj, do you have anything to say? Sridhar Maharaj said, no, I have nothing to say. So then they said, oh Prabhupada, he says he has nothing to say. Then Prabhupada said, all right, but does he have something to inquire? I see that he's always sitting outside my room the whole time. So does he have something to inquire? Then again this devotee asked Sridhar Maharaj, Prabhupada is asking if you have something to inquire. He said, no, I have nothing to inquire. So then Prabhupada said, no, he has something in his mind. He's a very intelligent man. I can see he's very intelligent. He has something in his mind and I have to see what he has in his mind. So then, when the devotee went and asked Sridhar Maharaj, do you have something in your mind, some purpose? Then Sridhar Maharaj said, yes, my purpose here is I want the mercy of all of you, he said. All of you, please bestow your mercy upon me. So Sridhar Maharaj is very intelligent. He realized that if I want to meet Prabhupada, then I have to get the mercy of all his disciples. So then he went to each and every disciple. He fell at the feet of each and every disciple and he begged for their mercy. He said, each and every one of you, please give your mercy to me. Because I know that I can only get Prabhupada's mercy, each and every one of you give your mercy. So this way, when Prabhupada heard that Sridhar Maharaj was going to each and every disciple and falling at their feet, and Prabhupada's heart melted. And he became very happy with Prabhupada. So then Prabhupada, he asked Sridhar Maharaj to come to his room. Then when he asked Sridhar Maharaj to come to his room, he asked him, who are you? Where are you from? Where were you previously staying? So then Prabhupada said, oh, you're very fortunate because you're born in this land of Gaurmanda. So then this devotee, the devotee who was there with Srila Prabhupada, he gave a book that Srila Prabhupada had written to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So then Sridhar Maharaj said, I already have this book. But then the brahmachari said, it doesn't matter. Prabhupada himself is giving you this book and you are refusing to accept. Then Sridhar Maharaj again he was chastised. Then he accepted that book and he touched it to his head. So that was his first darshan ever with Prabhupada Saraswati this way. On another day, Sridhar Maharaj was also present with Srila Prabhupada. And then they were speaking English with each other. So then Prabhupada he was going to organize an exhibition in Mayapur. So Prabhupada was asking some of his disciples, what name should I give to this exhibition? This English exhibition, because that time many British officers were present there. So he would invite all the Britishers and all the English-speaking people to this exhibition. So some disciples, they said, we should name this exhibition religious exhibition. Some said spiritual. For Sridhar Maharaj, he said, we should name this exhibition theistic. He said, theistic is a really nice name. So Prabhupada, then he thought for one moment, he said, yes, I like this name, theistic. Theistic spiritual exhibition is very nice. So in this way, Prabhupada now he started taking notice. Oh, this young man, I see he's very intelligent. So then, Sridhar Maharaj, he went to Mayapur for the Gaur Purnima festival. So there, when Sridhar Maharaj was with Srila Prabhupada for the entire festival, and then when Gaur Purnima was about to finish, then Prabhupada, he addressed all the devotees. Many thousands of devotees were sitting in front of him. And Prabhupada said, all of you, please listen to me. I have one request. What did Prabhupada say? He said, all of you have come to serve Mahaprabhu. All of you have come to serve Krishna. Therefore I have become so attached to you. But all of you are leaving now. Why are you leaving? Please stay here, Prabhupada said. If you are leaving me, then I think you are cheating me, he said. Then someone said, oh, after a few days we'll return. But Prabhupada said, no. Even if your house is on fire, don't Don't wait for the fire. Just come here. Just stay here. I will maintain all of you, Prabhupada said. Even if the entire world is being burned to ashes, still don't waste your time. All of you, please just come here and stay here in Mayapur. Serve Mahaprabhu this way. And Prabhupada was humbly requesting everyone that please don't leave Mayapur. So then Sridhar Maharaj, when he heard Prabhupada speak this way, then his heart melted. He was thinking, just see, he's such an elevated spiritual personality, but still he's humbly speaking to each and every one, requesting them, don't leave Mayapur, please stay here with me. So this is Sridhar Maharaj's heart became even more attached to Prabhupada in this way. So then, Sridhar Maharaj, then when, actually by now he hadn't still joined the temple. So then Pujapal Bharati Maharaj, his god brother, he came to him and he said, oh, your wife has passed away, your mother has passed away, your entire family has left you. Why are you not taking this opportunity? Immediately join. So then Sridhar Maharaj, he said, alright. Or else Bharati Maharaj said, you will never have this opportunity in your life ever again. So join immediately. So then in the year 1927, Sridhar Maharaj, he joined the temple. At that time, what name did he receive? He received this name, Sri Ramendra Sundar Rajwasi. This is his name. So then when Srila Prabhupada established the Vyas Gaudiya Math in Kurukshetra in 1928, he told Sridhar Maharaj, you be in charge of this temple in Kurukshetra. So Sridhar Maharaj was the first in charge of this temple when this temple was opened in 1928. It said here that he hadn't been in the mission even for 6 months. Not even 6 months. Despite joining the temple just for like 6 months, yet Prabhupada made him in charge of the temple. So how qualified he was, just see. Even 6 months he hadn't been in the temple, but still Prabhupada said, become in charge of this temple. So then when he was in charge of this temple in Kurukshetra, then there was a solar eclipse there in Kurukshetra. And lakhs of people were coming there to visit Kurukshetra. Then what happened? Then Prabhupada sent many disciples to Kurukshetra to help Sridhar Maharaj. Like Bhaktivedanta, Maharaj, and so many others came there. And this year the festival in Kurukshetra was a great success. And Prabhupada was very happy with it. And then he also sent Sridhar Maharaj, Maharaj to South India. And there they also established a temple on the banks of the Godavari, that Mahaprabhu and Raya Ramananda met. So in this way, well, Prabhupada was very happy with all his services. And then Maharaj, he recommended Sridhar Maharaj to Prabhupada for sannyas. So then, on 4th October 1930, Sridhar Maharaj, he received sannyas. And then his name was Tridandi Swami Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. 1930. 4th October 1930. In this year. So then he would accompany Prabhupada everywhere, all over India. And then Prabhupada, he told Sridhar Maharaj, you stay in Chennai, Madras. So then he stayed there for 3 years. And then, towards the end of Prabhupada's manifest Leela, when Prabhupada became sick, he left Chennai and then he came back to Calcutta. So then we know that Sridhar Maharaj, he performed this most valuable seva to Prabhupada. What was that? When Prabhupada was very sick, he would personally come, sit next to Prabhupada and sing so many wonderful kirtans that Prabhupada especially liked. Like Rup Manjari Pada, Gopinath, Mama Nivedana Suno, Kavi Krishna Dhamapabo, all these different kirtans in this way. So in this way, when Prabhupada saw how scholarly he was, then he gave him this title, Shastra Nipun. Means he who is very expert in scripture. So then Sridhar Maharaj, he wrote many wonderful like Dashakams, Ashtakams, like Bhaktivedanta Dashakam, Prabhupada Ashtakam, Jagannath Ashtakam, Gaur Kishore Dashakam. And the same Prabhupada was so happy with him when he wrote all these different poems. And then whenever Sridhar Maharaj would write anything, Prabhupada would immediately have it published in the magazine. He would say, don't even check for any corrections. Immediately publish it, he would say. Because Sridhar Maharaj is very highly qualified, very intellectual. So then, Prabhupada even wanted to send him to Europe to preach, to the West. But Sridhar Maharaj, because he was so shy, he said, I'd rather stay with you, Prabhupada, and go there. So then it was decided that Pujapal Bhakti Sarang Goswami Maharaj, he be sent instead. So in this way, Sridhar Maharaj, he served Prabhupada in this way, in such wonderful ways. Therefore, so many disciples of Prabhupada, they took Siksha from him. So many disciples of Prabhupada, they accepted him as their Siksha Guru. So many. Like even our Param Gurudev, which was Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, he took sannyas from Sridhar Maharaj. Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj, he took sannyas from Sridhar Maharaj. Bhakti Saran Goswami Maharaj, he took sannyas from Sridhar Maharaj. So many. Bhakti Kushal Narsingh Maharaj, Bhakti Alok Paramahamsa Maharaj, and so many took Siksha from him. In fact, it is said that when the disciples of Prabhupada would address him, when they would address Prabhupada, they would address him as Om Vishnupad. But then, when they would address Sridhar Maharaj also, they'd use this title, Om Vishnupad. Om Vishnupad would not be used for anyone else except Prabhupada. But still, when they saw how exalted Sridhar Maharaj was, they would also address him as Om Vishnupad Shri Sridhar Maharaj. This is a very exalted devotee. And he's written such wonderful books also. Like we see in this one book, Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion. Here, he's given such nice, deep spiritual insights. Like here, for example, some devotees are asking him questions, and then he's answering all these different questions they're asking. Like one such question is, here they're asking. Here it is said, when Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, so Sridhar Maharaj is speaking to all the disciples of Srila Swami Maharaj. They would all come to him for Siksha. So here he is saying, when Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur began service of Sridham Mayapur, he had to do so many things to attract the people to come to the Dham. At that time, no one was staying in Mayapur. So then Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he gradually built a building, and there the worship of Mahaprabhu was conducted. And then this way, generally the Brahmin cooks, he required that they would not stay there very long because it was an isolated place. So therefore, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he was thinking, who can cook for Mahaprabhu here? Because the Brahmins would not stay there. Because that time, Mayapur was very isolated. No one would stay in Mayapur. Also, there were very aggressive people staying there who liked fighting. So this way, Bhaktivedanta Thakur was thinking, what to do? How can I keep these Brahmin cooks here? He was thinking. Because the Brahmanas were telling Bhaktivedanta Thakur, we don't want to stay here. So many people are always fighting with us, so many mosquitoes here, no facilities, nothing. How can we stay here? So then here Sridhar Maharaj is saying that Bhaktivedanta Thakur himself, by his own hand, he had to prepare ganja. So here Sridhar Maharaj is saying, by his own hand, Bhaktivedanta Thakur would prepare ganja and give to the Brahmins. Saying here, at least you take this and you stay here. Otherwise the Brahmins would have left. So that time, when so many other respectable people also came to Mayapur, Bhaktivedanta Thakur would make arrangements for tobacco for them. Because Bhaktivedanta Thakur was thinking, anyhow, by hook or crook, I must make them stay here. That's how merciful Bhaktivedanta Thakur was. He was making ganja for these Brahmin cooks, and he was even giving tobacco for all these different people who were coming from all the different sections of society. That's how he was. So then Sridhar Maharaj is saying, my Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada also did similar things. When the governor of Bengal, Sir John Anderson, when he came to Mayapur, at that time, Prabhupada ordered some food from a hotel in Calcutta. And Prabhupada said, oh, if you want, you can even give him non-vegetarian food, no problem. So in this way, when this governor of Bengal came, when this Englishman came with many of his servants, that time Prabhupada, he made sure that they be given all facilities. And sometimes even non-vegetarian food. And then when this John Anderson was so pleased by how Prabhupada arranged everything for him, then Prabhupada suggested. What did he say? Dad, please arrange for some preaching in the West. And then John Anderson, he said, all right. If you want someone to go preach in the West, I'll make all arrangements for you, he said. So Prabhupada said, this is how preaching should be done. Even materialistic people, he said, if you make some arrangements for them, even the slightest of arrangements, then they'll make everything favorable for you. So when Prabhupada suggested some similar approach in foreign preaching also, Sridhar Maharaj is saying, I protested in a very humble way. So then when Prabhupada said, in the West, if you want, non-vegetarian food can be given in the temple area also. Then Sridhar Maharaj said, but Prabhupada, how can you say this? How can you say that non-vegetarian food can be distributed People will criticize our mission. They will say such bad things about our mission. He's saying. So Prabhupada said, no. I decided all these things thousands of births ago. He said. So Prabhupada is saying, I decided about all these things thousands of births ago. We have to do anything and everything for the service of Mahaprabhu, he's saying. Prabhupada just see how surrendered he was. He's saying, I'll do anything for the service of Mahaprabhu. No, like even Prabhupada, he gives this example. When Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj was being sent to the West, then Prabhupada said, give him like so many nice things to eat. But then someone said, but tomorrow is Ekadashi. How can you say that he can eat all these nice things when it's Ekadashi? Prabhupada said, don't you realize when he's in the West, every day is Ekadashi for him? How can you say this? But then anyhow, Sarang Goswami Maharaj, he fell in the feet of Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada, I know how you're so much, how you love me so much, you care about me so much, but still, I'd rather follow Ekadashi. So then Prabhupada said, all right, as you wish. So this was his answer. Prabhupada said, I'm prepared to do anything for the service of Mahaprabhu. For the propagation of his mission, I'm ready to do anything. So the grace of Mahaprabhu should be distributed throughout the breadth and length of the world. And for that, anything should be done. No stone unturned. Physical connection is no connection. We should try to serve our internal purity. That is all. So Prabhupada said, why are you so much concerned about this external purity? Physical connection is no connection. Prabhupada is saying we should try to save our internal purity. That is all. So Prabhupada is saying even if I have to do all these things, no harm. But inside, deep inside our hearts, we must remain pure, he said. But for Mahaprabhu's mission, we must do anything. And to save so many souls from impure habits and die, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj also took the risk of external contamination by filthy things. He had to go to the place of so many meat eaters. Why? To save them. If the house is on fire, one must run the risk of burns to his body. If he really wants to save the people, stay in the house. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying that if someone's house is on fire, and if you want to save the people staying inside the house, then even if you have to run the risk of being burnt yourself, but still you have to save them, he said. No, so similarly, Sridhar Maharaj is saying that even if you have to save the conditioned souls, sometimes their contamination will also touch you. But still, for their deliverance, you have to anyhow save them, he said. Just like a person, when he goes to save someone from a fire, then he himself will be burnt to some degree. In the same way also, the Guru Varga, they take so many risks to deliver everyone in this way. So in this way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a great vision for the entire world. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his idea was that anyhow, this mission of Prabhupada should be, this mission of Mahaprabhu should be preached everywhere. So this way, here, when Srila Bhaktisarang Goswami Maharaj returned from preaching in England, he brought one Englishman with him. And then a big meeting was held at Bazar Gauriama in Calcutta. So that meeting was presided over by a gentleman called Hiran Dutt. So this Hiran Dutt was a very good scholar. He said, when we were students at City College, Bhaktivinoda Thakur delivered a lecture where he said that in the near future Western scholars would come and join the Sankirtan movement of Mahaprabhu. Now clearly I can see that his prediction is beginning to come true. I heard the lecture in my young days, and now in my old age I see the evidence. It is going to be true. I am very glad for that. So here when Bhaktisarang Goswami Maharaj came back from England, he brought some Englishmen also when he came back. So that time there was a big meeting taking place in the Gaudiya Math in Calcutta. So that time the meeting was presided by one scholar from a university, a very reputed university in England, from Calcutta, City University. So in this way when this person came there, this scholar, he said, when I was a young student in this college, Bhaktivinoda Thakur would always come and speak to all of us. At that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur made a prediction. What was that prediction? That all the Western scholars, all the Westerners will also join the mission of Mahaprabhu. So then all of us were thinking, how can this be true? So then this person is saying, I heard Bhaktivinoda Thakur say this to me when I was a young man. And now I am very old, I am seeing that his prediction has come to pass. Now I am seeing that even Westerners are coming here to India and accepting the mission of Mahaprabhu. So this is how merciful Bhaktivinoda Thakur was. that even he made ganja for the Brahmin cooks to serve Mahaprabhu, just so Mahaprabhu's mission could be propagated far and wide. And now you can see the fruit. The entire world has become Krishna conscious because of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So here, one devotee is asking, did you ever have the darshan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur? So Sridhar Maharaj is saying no. Bhaktivinoda Thakur left the world in 1914 and I joined the mission in 1926, 12 years later. So then, did you meet anyone who had Bhaktivinoda Thakur's darshan? The devotee is asking. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying there was one god brother of mine. His name was Parvat Maharaj. So Parvat Maharaj, when he was a small boy, he lived right next to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very old, when he was staying in Godrumbi, Parvat Maharaj was staying right next to his room. So Parvat Maharaj, he told Sridhar Maharaj there was only one wall between his house and Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house is here and his house is here. And he was a very small boy then. Maharaj, he would personally listen to him. At that time it seemed to someone. He would loudly chant and be weeping the entire time, calling out that time to someone. So then there was a chair, a cement chair, and whenever Bhaktivinoda Thakur felt tired, he would sit on that chair and he would rest there. And then after some time, again he would break, again he would stand. And again he would chant at the top of his voice, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It seemed he was calling out to Krishna, not just in a formal way, but with his entire heart he was calling out in this way. So in this way, Sridhar Maharaj is saying, I heard about Bhaktivinoda Thakur from him, from Parvat Maharaj. He is also saying, I heard about Bhaktivinoda Thakur from another person called Ram Gopal Vidyabhushan. So Ram Gopal Vidyabhushan, he told me that once we went to visit Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because we heard that he was a very highly posted government officer, very educated man, but still now he has become a Vaishnava Babaji. So we went to see him, and someone asked him, please say something about Krishna and Krishna. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, oh, you want to hear something about Krishna? You want Krishna? You are so fortunate. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, whatever realizations he had in his heart, he started speaking about them. What were they? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, with tears flowing from his eyes, with his body perspiring, as if he was fainting, he was saying, oh, this nectar of Krishna is flooding my heart. It's throwing me into an ocean of praying, ocean of ecstasy. Lord, I cannot see anything around me. I have completely lost myself in this ocean of praying. So this was during Bhaktivinoda Thakur's final pastimes. Just before Bhaktivinoda Thakur was going to leave this world, some very respectable people, they went to see him. Why? Because they were so intrigued. They were thinking, how can a government officer who has so much power, so much authority, so much prestige, how can he just leave everything aside and become a mendicant? So then when they went to see him, Bhaktivinoda Thakur weeping, he was describing the glories of Krishna to them in this way. So that gentleman, Ram Gopal Vidyabhushan, he said, I saw with my own eyes that all these symptoms were displayed in the body and mind of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Simply upon listening to him speak, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you are so fortunate, you have come to hear Krishna from me. Krishna, Krishna. In this way, he entered into spiritual ecstasy. And all these different forms of ecstasy started appearing on his body. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying, in this way, I heard about Bhaktivinoda Thakur from the others. As we know, hearing is also very powerful. In fact, hearing is more powerful than even seeing by your own eyes. Even when Gurudev joined the temple, he heard about Prabhupada so much. And then some devotees, they told Gurudev that, oh, we are the disciples of Prabhupada and we've personally seen him. And still, you say that you have seen Prabhupada even though you joined the mission after Prabhupada's disappearance. And Gurudev said, yes. Why? Because I heard about him. And seeing by the ears is more pleasing than even seeing by the eyes. Mr. Sridhar Maharaj is saying, I didn't have the darshan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but still by my ears I had the darshan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, not by my eyes. So is it true that prior to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance, the Vaishnava tradition had become polluted and neglected? Sridhar Maharaj is saying, yes. Before Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition had become so much neglected. But after Bhaktivinoda Thakur came, this entire Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition became so much enlightened in this way. In this way, here Sridhar Maharaj is answering all these different questions that the devotees have here. In this way. In fact, so many disciples of Swami Prabhupada, they took Siksha from Sridhar Maharaj. It is said that Swami Maharaj, before he left this world, he said, I want $1 million to be put inside the bank, he said. He requested one secretary of his. He said, I want $1 million to be put inside the bank account, he said. So then the secretary asked, why Prabhupada? Why do you want $1 million to be put inside the bank? He said, just listen to me. Put this $1 million inside the bank and then get a fixed deposit out of it. So fixed deposit, as we know, means every month you get a little extra money out of that money. So then the secretary asked Prabhupada, but what are we going to do with this money, with this fixed deposit? Prabhupada said, my desire is that all the pastime places of Mahaprabhu in Bengal, they are gradually becoming lost. They are gradually disappearing. So I want that with this money that you have deposited inside the bank, whatever money you get, you must repair all these places of Mahaprabhu in Bengal, everything. So then the secretary asked Prabhupada, which is the first place that you want us to repair and properly construct a temple there? He said the first place is my godbrother's temple, Sridhar Maharaj. I want all of you to go to Sridhar Maharaj and build him a proper temple, he said. His temple is very old, very dilapidated. Go there and make a nice temple for him. So that's how Swami Maharaj liked his godbrother so much. Even before he was leaving this world, he said that with this money, build a nice temple for him. In fact, when Swami Maharaj was leaving this world, he had given his dictations until the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So then one disciple who was in charge of taking down his dictations, he asked Prabhupada that Prabhupada, you have dictated until the 10th canto, but who will dictate the 11th and 12th canto? Who will help us? So then Swami Maharaj said that go to Sridhar Maharaj. He will help you. In the 11th and 12th canto, if you go to Sridhar Maharaj, he will give you the explanations. He said Swami Maharaj had so much faith in him, and so much nishtha in him also. He said Sridhar Maharaj himself is my Siksha Guru. In fact, Swami Maharaj wanted him to come to the West, come and preach. In fact, Swami Maharaj actually told Sridhar Maharaj that you should become the Acharya after I leave this world. He wanted him to become the Acharya in this time. But Sridhar Maharaj said, no, I've become so old, he said. What can I possibly do, he said. I cannot do anything in so old age, he said. Then Swami Maharaj said, please come and stay in my temple in Mayapur, Islam. Please give Siksha. Sridhar Maharaj said, but no, I'm invalid. I cannot move my body. How can I come and stay there? But still, Sridhar Maharaj said, if any of your disciples want Siksha from me, I'm more than happy with that. So this way, Sridhar Maharaj was a very exalted soul. In fact, it is said that after Prabhupada's disappearance, some disciples of Prabhupada also wanted him to be the Acharya. But he was very humble. He never took up that post. In fact, for many years, after Prabhupada's disappearance, he was staying in Govardhan. He was staying in other places, just doing solitary bhajan. Just keeping to himself and doing bhajan. And then gradually we know, even though he never took one step out of Navadvip, even though he didn't take one step out of Navadvip, the entire world came to him. The entire world fell at his feet. And to this day, so many devotees are reading his books. To this day, so many devotees are listening to his Harikatha. Why? Because he was such an Uttam Mahaprabhu in this way. So all these books that he has given, they're so wonderful. They have such wonderful questions. They have such wonderful answers. Like here you see there's one more question here. You were talking about Kirtan, a devotee is saying. I have read that Bhaktivedanta Thakur says that Japa is also Kirtan. And also that Rupa Goswami says that 3 types of Japa. Namely, Mansik means chanting within your mind. Vachik means you say the holy name loudly. And Upamshu means when you softly say the holy name. So which is the most effective? This devotee is asking. You can chant the holy name in three ways. Within your mind, very softly, by moving your lips, and very loudly, like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So the devotee is asking that which is the most effective way of chanting. So then Sridhar Maharaj is saying, in Upamshu there is no sound. only the movement of the lips. And in Manasik, there is no lip movement. So here is saying when you are very softly chanting, you are only moving your lips. But when you are chanting in your mind, you are not even moving your lips. So are you asking me which is superior? Devotee is saying yes. So what is Sridhar Maharaj going to say? What do you think? Which is superior? Huh? But here you know what he's saying. Sridhar Maharaj is saying, whatever is internally real will be superior. He's saying whichever mood you are chanting with, that is superior. If you are chanting within your mind, in a proper way, that is superior. If you are chanting softly, and that is proper, that is superior. If you are chanting loudly, that's proper, that is superior, he's saying. Whatever is internally real will be superior, he's saying. So here he's saying with which mood you are chanting, that is superior, he's saying. With which particular mood you are chanting. So japa must be genuine, not imitative, he's saying. Our attention should always be towards the negative side. If we can practice that in a real way, our promotion cannot be checked. But without qualification, if we are very eager to go upward, then there will be a tendency to fall down. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying, along with the positive, we should also focus on the negative, he's saying. He's saying in this way. For bhajan, or internal service, such a temperament should always be followed. What is that? The dasayate mama rasostu satyam. Means Raghunath Das Goswami is praying, I only want to be a maid servant of Srimati Radhika. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying you must have this mood when you are chanting. He's saying this mood of servitude at the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. He's saying. Srila Prabhupada said that imitation arises from the attraction for pratishtha, or desire to hold a superior position and acquire a name for oneself. That is the great enemy, he's saying. Don't fall prey to that pratishtha. Don't desire pratishtha. Only desire humility. Humility is the healthy sign of a devotee, Sridhar Maharaj is saying. So he's saying when you're chanting, don't desire for pratishtha. Chant in a very humble way. With humility. So then another devotee is saying, we see in the Hari Bhakti Vilas that sometimes the glories of chanting silently are mentioned. And then in other places, we see that the glories of chanting very loudly, as in the case of Haridas Thakur is mentioned. So how can we reconcile? So here one devotee is saying that in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Haridas Thakur, it is said he chants very loudly. So it is said that when you chant very loudly, not only are you benefiting yourself, but you are also benefiting all the living entities around you. So here the devotee is saying, but in Hari Bhakti Vilas it is also said, if you are chanting silently, that is also beneficial. So which is more beneficial? He is again asking Sridhar Maharaj. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying, only a theoretical understanding will not do. It will not help you. Try to catch the inner mood, he is saying. So when backed by the sadhu, the guru of a very high type, you can do anything. So here Sridhar Maharaj is saying, if you are under the guidance of a Sadguru, if a Sadguru is guiding you, then even if you chant very loudly, that's alright. If you are chanting silently, that's alright. Even if you are chanting within your mind, that's alright. By the grace of his support, whatever kirtan you may do will be effective. Sridhar Maharaj is saying. He's saying if you are under the guidance of a Sadguru, if you are blessed by the association of a Sadguru, if you are initiated by him, then under his guidance, regardless of how you chant, whether be in your mind, whether loudly or softly, that is proper, he's saying. Because why? You have the Anugata of a Sadguru. Whatever you do will be effective, he's saying. So meditating has been praised as more efficient in a particular context. But if you try to superficially chant in this way, then that will not bear fruit. So in Hari Bhakti Vilas it is said that if you chant the holy name within your mind, that is proper. Sridhar Maharaj is saying, yes, that is proper. But still when you chant, you must do so in a qualified way. Not, don't do so in an improper way. Or else the opposite fruit will be seen. What is that? What is the opposite fruit? You will become an atheist. It can happen if you don't have sufficient support. Don't attack the enemy when your position is weak. Only backed by the great generals, and when you have many ammunitions, then you must go. That will help you. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying, when you have so many anarthas in your heart, don't fight your anarthas single-handedly. You must fight those anarthas under the care of Guru and Vaishnavas, under the care of superior devotees. Under their care, under their guidance, you fight these anarthas. Then you come out victorious. Or else you might lose the war. So the real factor is sadhu sangha. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying, you can chant loudly, you can do anything, but do so in sadhu sangha. If there is no sadhu sangha, then even if you are chanting loudly, even if you are chanting softly, even if you are chanting within your mind, nothing will bear fruit. Whatever you do in sadhu sangha, he is saying. Otherwise, nothing has any value. The stand must be taken on the real plane, sadhu and shastra. Take shelter of sadhu and shastra. This mood we must cultivate. That is the all-important factor. What is that? Only to be under the guidance of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. For the weaker devotee, the sadhak, the greatest necessity is sadhu sangha. And the scriptures are necessary for knowledge. So here, that kirtan will be best. So when this devotee is asking which is the best form of kirtan, Sridhar Maharaj is saying that type of kirtan, which is done under the guidance of Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, that is best, he said. That is best. Even regardless of whether you chant loudly, regardless of any form of chanting, that chanting that you do under the guidance of the scriptures, under the guidance of Sri Guru, under the guidance of Sadhu, Guru, Vaishnavas, that is the best, he's saying. That is Sridhar Maharaj saying. Vrindavan Das Thakur says, one who feeds himself and who feeds others also is very generous. So kirtan means to cultivate oneself and also help others cultivate at the same time. So here, Sridhar Maharaj reconciling. He's saying that when Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying that when you chant loudly, others will also be benefited. What is the real mood? Sridhar Maharaj is saying the real mood is that you're helping others become devotees. That is the mood here. Not that you're loudly chanting and they're listening to your chanting, they're also being delivered. No. He's saying the real mood is that you're cultivating kirtan within yourself and you're also making other people sitting around you cultivate kirtan. Which means you're helping them become devotees. When you don't have any capital of your own, if you go to preach, you will meet so much opposition, asat sangha. Then the path will be nicked. Sridhar Maharaj is saying, if you don't have any sadhan, bhajan yourself. And if you go to preach, what will you preach, he's saying. He's saying that if there's a flower, and even before the flower has come, only a small bud has come. And if you cut that bud, what will happen? You will never have the flower. Similarly, even when you want to help others, when you don't have that wealth yourself, how can you possibly help others? In that case, if you're a Kanishta Adhikari, if you're a neophyte, don't go to attack others without vigorous backing. Sridhar Maharaj is saying, if you're a neophyte, without the backing of superior devotees, if you go to preach, then what will happen? Then you will be attacked yourself. Means you will be attacked by all your helpers. Don't venture as a Kanishta Adhikari. You'll be turned into an atheist. Only after passing through the proper stages, Shravan Dasha, Balan Dasha, Sadhan Dasha, Prapanna Dasha, all these different stages of devotional service, then with the help of someone in Prapanna Dasha, means an advanced stage of devotion, then you can go to preach, he's saying. This way you can preach. That preaching will be permanent, sthayi, he's saying. So this way, we'll just end with this last question. What is the perfection of humility for the Kanishta Adhikari? The devotee is asking. How can a neophyte devotee achieve humility? So Sridhar Maharaj is saying it may vary for different people. One has to think out his own way. Humility means to not encroach on the rights of others. Also, it should not be such as to kill one's own self. Humility must be natural, he's saying. He's saying don't encroach on the rights of others, means don't commit violence to others. At the same time, you must also not commit violence to your own self, Sridhar Maharaj is saying. This is humility. He's saying, at the time of entering the present Bhakti-Vedanta Gaudiya Math, there was a festival. From a rented house, the deities were being brought on a chariot in procession. There was chanting and dancing, and the deities were installed in the new temple. Mahaprasadam was distributed. At 12 or 1 o'clock, that night we went to bed. My bed was just nearby the bed of one of my godbrothers, a learned professor. So once there was a big festival in Calcutta. The Bhakti-Vedanta Gaudiya Math had just been opened. They were bringing the deities from another place. At that time, when Sridhar Maharaj was resting, it had already become 1 o'clock in the night. So then one other godbrother, he was sleeping next to Sridhar Maharaj. He was a professor. His name was Nishikanta Sanyala. So then, in the morning, when Sridhar Maharaj awoke, this professor, his godbrother, told him, last night I felt so much weakness. I thought I was going to die. I thought I should wake you. But But I was thinking, how can I disturb this Vaishnava? The whole day he was performing his service, and now he's taking his rest. So how can I disturb him? So his godbrother told Sridhar Maharaj, I was about to die. I was in so much pain. But still I didn't want to disturb you. Why? Because the whole day you had done your services. And the night you're resting. So I was thinking, how can I disturb you? I was dying, but still I did not. So Sridhar Maharaj is saying, when I heard this, I at once went to Prabhupada and told him this. That my godbrother was almost dying, but still he did not disturb me. Then Prabhupada and all the devotees immediately arranged for that devotee to go to a doctor. And a doctor came and treated him. Sridhar Maharaj is saying, but I think such humility is dangerous. Because the disciple's life is the property of his Guru. Why is he giving up that property? He should live in the interest of his Guru there. Sridhar Maharaj is saying, I cannot appreciate such humility. He's saying that he was ready to give up his own life just for the sake of not disturbing me. But that life is not his. That life is the life of his Guru. His body is not his property, it's his Guru's property. So even that kind of humility is not proper, Sridhar Maharaj is saying. So he's saying, if I'm thirsty, I won't request any Vaishnava. Please help me with a glass of water. Then my disease may continue. So he's saying, if I'm thirsty and if a Vaishnava is nearby, and if I'm doing my services, then if I want to continue my services, I must ask for water from the Vaishnava. Because if I don't ask water from him, then how can I perform my services in this way? So Sridhar Maharaj is saying, even when Swami Maharaj was dying, when he was in his last stage of life, even then by his own hands he would give prasad to everyone. So that is humility, he was saying. That even at the cost of not, so here he's saying that one should not, humility means it should be applied properly. He's saying here the godbrother was about to die, but still he didn't want to disturb me. But this humility is not proper. But in another case, if you have to even disturb your godbrother, if you even have to accept his services, no harm. Why? If that's helping you in your Guru Seva, he's saying. So this is how practical he was, this great Vaishnava. In every dealing he was completely practical. He didn't have any theoretical understanding. See how many examples he's given. How practical Bhaktivedanta Thakur were, how practical Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur were. Completely practical in their dealings. That's why the entire world has become a devotee now. That's why you see devotees all over the world. Why? Because of these great Vaishnavas. How practical they are. Any cost they wanted to propagate the mission of Mahaprabhu. That's how great they were. So today is his disappearance day. So we can only pray at the lotus feet of this great associate of Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Prabhupada that such practicality, that such Nishrayan Bhajan, that such Nishrayan Guru Seva, Vaishnava Seva can also manifest in our lives. Pancha Prabhupada Vipasana Devacha Aditanam Avaribhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Nitya Ishrivan Bhakti Rakshak Shri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Hare Guruvadhi Namotsav Ki Jai, Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Paramgurudev Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Vipanakari Guruvarga Ki Jai, Vidaya Gaur Pramanande